wake up.
No, I'm mad at
Jeremy,
Ken.
it's time to
Oh my
work.
god. Oh my god.
Jeremy!
Okay.
Hello, YouTube. Welcome to Hangfire TV,
Hello,
your
YouTube.
destination for all the coolest gun chat in the world.
That was creepy.
Yeah, so today we're going to be
Yeah.
talking about gun regrets. Because
Ooh.
everybody's got to have some. If you've owned any amount of weapons, there's things you shouldn't have done or things you wish you had done and did or didn't.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll go first then.
do
I'll
it.
admit to it.
What'd you do?
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I custom built an AR for myself.
Quite a nice one at that.
Yeah, it was very nice. I built it about 2 years ago, and I sold it.
There it
However,
is. There it is.
however, let me just say this: I sold it for a profit.
You can't come back from that.
I can't too.
You're
I
a
sold
gun
it for a
guy that sold
profit.
a gun. I'm sorry.
Wait. You didn't sell an AR-15. You sold your only AR-15.
Let's not get into details here. I'm
There's
just
a big
talking about.
difference. Big
Yeah.
difference.
Well, but see,
Yeah.
here's the thing: is I know what I put into it, and I know how to build it again. So I
But
could
now
build it
you
exactly,
are minus an AR-15.
but I can rebuild it when I get to it.
Mm-hmm.
See, there's a big difference. See, it's not. See, I wasn't emotionally attached to it, so it was okay for me to sell it because I knew I could rebuild it. However, the item I sold it for, honestly, I like more than the AR-15, and I use it a lot more. So, with that being
I
said,
had a dirty comment to go along with that, but I'm just going to leave it alone.
so yes, I sold my AR, but I kind of regret it. But at the same time, I know I can rebuild it. But the item I use the money for, I use a lot more than I use the gun itself. So, in reality, I'm okay with it.
Hey, man. If the revolution started tomorrow, what would you do? Damn it, Dexter. You're making me break character. My dog's sitting there whining because the door's shut. Revolution comes. What do you do?
That's his tomahawk.
You
Remember?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Ooh,
God
ooh.
damn it. Why'd you have to remind him? Shit.
I want to see him cut himself again, basically.
Oh.
Okay.
You know, we
Um,
don't have health insurance, so if you lose any
Shit.
fingers, we're not paying
What about-
for it.
What about L and I?
Nope.
I know Al and I.
No,
Man,
we have none of that
what kind
stuff.
of what kind of operation you got going on here, dude?
I would say fly by night, but it's daytime still, so we just kind of
That's true.
fly by day.
Fly by-
Uh,
Sounds about right.
Something
So-
like that.
Ken,
Ken,
your turn.
Yeah,
My turn.
ready, go.
Well, when I built my first AR, I really didn't know what I wanted to do with the AR other than just shoot it. So I got the lower and the upper and the barrel, I got really nice ones. And then I just was in a hurry and I just went and bought a whole bunch of Magpul low-end stuff, which isn't bad stuff, it just wasn't top of the line or free floated barrel or anything like that. So in the end, I ended up replacing the optic, the handguard, the grip, the stock, all of it. So I bought everything twice. So I regret not buying the right stuff the first time and actually waiting. I got in a hurry and bought a bunch of stuff that I ended up toss it over there.
That doesn't sound like a problem to me. That sounds an awful lot like you started building a second AR-15.
Right.
Like
Because
I
those
always
parts
say,
get
there's
used for different ones.
there's no
Except I
sta-
sold you the stock. I still have the handguard, and I used the grip on my wife's rifle. So I guess it wasn't all bad, but now I still have a part that I never used.
So
So
I always like to say there's no such thing as spare parts, just rifles that haven't been born yet. So those extra pieces tend to turn into entire guns eventually.
It so much explains your collection now.
So my biggest regret, probably the Keltec PF9. I did a bunch of reading online, watching YouTube videos, and everybody's like, "Yay, this is the best gun! It's so small and it's blah blah blah." But no, it was terrible. I couldn't shoot it worth a shit. They had the worst trigger I've ever seen, with like a 2-mile long trigger pull. Couldn't hit a damn thing with it. The only reason I kept it as long as I did is because someone gave me a laser grip for it as a gift. So I felt kind of guilty selling it. So I kept it like at least 6 months longer than I would have just because of that fact. But I finally sold that and bought a Walther PPS and never looked back. That PF9 was terrible. I don't know. I mean, a lot
I've
of people
fired
like it.
44 Magnum revolvers that have had less kick than that 9mm.
Yeah, and those little squares that Keltec uses for grips just want to rip your hand off too. It was, you could put a box of 50 through it, and then you're like, that's more than enough.
Have either one of you ever bought a firearms accessory that you wish you wouldn't have bought?
Well,
not really.
The other day we were talking about having the box full of holsters that we don't use, so you could probably regret a lot of holster purchases that turned out to be useless.
Holster purchases, just bit the bullet, so to speak, and just bought a nice quality holster the first time.
I bought a magazine. What does it call it? Like one of the quick
quick loaders.
Mag loaders, right? It's the one that you like hold the magazine on the side of this mag, and you push this thumb button down, and it's supposed to. And I fucking hate that thing. I was like, you know what? Screw this shit. So I bought that one that goes over the top, and you squeeze it, push down, click, click. Yeah, I don't remember what that one's called, but and I went out and bought the
Maglula loader or something.
Yeah. So anyways, I went and shelled out like
awesome.
$30 or $40 for one, and it's probably the best mag loader I've ever bought.
I think you don't need a fucking mag loader for an AR magazine. The rounds just click right in. It's ridiculous. I don't know why people are having a problem.
He's talking about for his competition gun.
Yes.
For the
where he's loading hundreds of rounds in a day.
Or for the AR?
No.
Oh, for my pistol.
Oh, okay, cool.
Get on the right page there, Billy.
Oh man. So I was gonna say, because like the people that need a mag loader for an AR, I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? Because they just click right in, like it's so easy.
Well, I do have to say though, I have a friend of mine. I think I mentioned this in another video that had that high point 9mm, and I wanted to. Yeah, I wanted to smack him after he shot that and it fell apart. I'm like, it's like the whole thing's like it's better than nothing, but at the same time, that
could have saved your money and got something.
Yeah,
better.
Exactly. That high point was the biggest piece of crap I've ever seen in my life.
I've seen the slides come off after a couple hundred rounds, and I've got several thousand rounds through my Ruger, and it's not had a single problem.
Oh yeah, I mean, you get what you pay for. I mean, you're gonna buy something that's high quality. You're gonna have to spend the money for it. I mean. Let's be honest. You have a Ruger. I'm sure that thing wasn't cheap. I have a Glock that was, $650 that, I've never had a problem with.
Did you buy that from a guy at a gun show?
Like $550.
No. No.
Was it the one with the trigger guard cut off and everything sanded down?
No.
Yeah, with the home done stippling all over it. The whole thing has been
just
massacred with the soldering iron.
I hope you know what arms list article we're referring to.
No, but I can only imagine.
Competition gun.
It looked like a burnt turd.
Oh God.
Who's that brand?
That's one of the things that I have read about, but I have not yet tried to dive into is the grip stippling with a soldering iron.
I did a little bit of that with a PMag and put a Punisher skull on a couple magazines, actually. It turned out all right.
I remember that. I remember you showing me that. That turned out kind of cool.
It took some time to do it, but it's cool.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to do it on your $550, $600 gun...
a $15 magazine isn't shit.
Yeah, compared to
the frame.
Yeah, so I just haven't got the cojones to take a soldering iron to my competition pistol.
Nor should you.
Don't do it.
I could take it to someone who's done it before and has experience doing it. And have them do it.
Professionals fuck up guns every day, man.
I know. That's why no one ever touches it. So
unless you have a really good reason, it's.
There's a company that makes grips, like stick-on grips, specifically for the Glocks. What's his name?
It's called Grip Tape.
45. He uses them all the time.
Yeah, it's grip tape. You can buy those. I was thinking about trying that. So I don't know. We'll see. So
there's one thing that I kind of regret, but it worked out okay. My first AR, I bought a complete upper, because I wasn't prepared to put one together by myself at the time. But it had a quad rail on it and the fixed front sight.
Heavy.
Can't stand either of those things now. But I didn't know yet until I had already owned it, so that I did sell that rifle, which is one of, well, now I've told you about the only guns I've ever sold. And it worked out, but I learned a lesson that I wouldn't do it again. I can't stand quad rails. They aren't meant for humans to hold on to. They're terrible.
They're meant to put a grip on so you can hold it.
Yeah, you got to cover the rails so they don't kill you. And then they're still obnoxious, so all my handguards now are round tubes with removable rail segments.
That's
Yeah,
exactly the way to go.
My handguard's round and doesn't even have rail segments on it.
You have the same handguard that my AR that I sold had on it.
I love that handguard.
It's very nice.
Oh.
Oh.
If you love it,
you wouldn't build it the same way the second time.
Oh no, I'd get a Seekins in a heartbeat.
Not you, him.
Me?
You learned something.
You
must have learned something from the first time that you would change.
Not to sell a gun.
But the funny thing is that gun was so accurate. In reality, I would probably build it. I'd probably just upgrade the optic, and that's probably the only thing I would change. Well, let me rephrase that. The upper, I got that extra high competition upper that had the higher
riser.
The riser for the rail built in. I would go with a standard and just get like a cantilever riser for the optic, because it looked out of place. So that's probably the only change I would make, and maybe a different muzzle brake. I'd probably get something different. But other than that, most of the components in there were great. Maybe an upgraded trigger, but yeah, I would probably build it pretty close to the same as it was. Just make a couple changes.
With a horse head on the side again?
No, we're gonna use that for something else.
Okay.
One of these days I'll build my pistol. One of these days I'll build the pistol.
An AR pistol?
Yeah.
You can have
Don't know why.
You can have an SBR here now,
Oh, I know.
So
If I wanted to spend the extra money.
$200. It's not that bad.
$200.
In the grand scheme of the full price of a decent built AR, $200 ain't much.
Yeah, I know.
Think about it. That's just a really good trigger.
True. That's true.
And anyway, on that note, we are out of time.
And at a lot.
Yes. Hey, don't forget to like. Thumbs up for like. Thumbs down if you hate us.
Hit that
Subscribe.
subscribe button if you want to see another video from us.
There you go. And comment. Comment about whatever the hell you want to comment about.
Selling his only AR-15.
Why does it always got to be about me? Why can't we talk? You know what? We need to talk shit about Cosmo one of these days.
I'm good.
We have not picked on him at all, ever. You realize that, right?
Yes, I realize that.
Whatever.
Too bad.
I'm going home.
Go.